I am super excited to be here today with Sheila Heen. Sheila will be joining us for our 2019 SAI conference. It starts with us, and we're really fortunate because we have Sheila for 2 days. The first will be our pre-conference event on Tuesday, July 30th. Sheila, you'll be facilitating around difficult conversations. Can you share with our team what it is that makes you so passionate about that topic?
Oh, golly. Maybe because it's about our lives. The topics that we get excited about and are passionate about learning about and talking to people about and grappling with together are really the conversations that span both our professional lives and our personal lives. It's about who we are and how we show up and the impact that that has on our colleagues, on our friends, on our students, on our families, and what it teaches our children about how to handle the most important conversations in their lives. And so to me, part of what is fascinating and fun and challenging about spending a day on difficult conversations is that we're really spending a whole day, which is an incredible luxury, talking about the things that are most important to us and where we're struggling a little bit and where maybe we can learn something and help each other to actually have more constructive conversations and get better outcomes.
Yeah, I love that. And you're right. I mean, it's so relevant because our lives consist of conversations from one conversation to the next to the next to the next. And so whether it's a work conversation or whether it's a personal at home type conversation, it's part of our daily lives, day in and day out. So
Oh yeah, I had one this morning. So the learning is always fresh and it's lifelong.
yeah, oh, I'm just so excited. As I mentioned to you when we were chatting before, I really can't wait for our colleagues to engage with you. We have lots of opportunities in school systems for really rich conversations around teaching and learning and behavior and leading. So lots of opportunities, not to mention our personal lives where it's also helpful.
Yeah.
When we think about the fact that we could have teacher leaders and our administrators both attending this full day pre-conference event, what would you say would be a couple of key takeaways for them as a result of attending the session with you?
It's a great question. I think one of the most important things that people will walk away with is a common vocabulary to talk about and help each other prepare for and engage these conversations in a more constructive way together, which is really a joint endeavor. We'll also talk about the role of the internal voice. In other words, all those things that we're thinking and feeling and often not saying to each other, but which are actually driving the energy of the conversation and the ways in which those thoughts can actually get us into trouble. So that the first conversation really that we need to have is usually a conversation with ourselves. And if we can have that conversation, then we can actually be more transparent with each other about what we're really thinking and feeling as we work something through together.
Yeah, you're causing me to think about just some of the stories and assumptions that we can get going that may or may not be true that can certainly impede the success or lack thereof of any conversation we might want to have. So
Yeah.
again, it's so relevant to everything that we are doing as school leaders. And then you get to join us again on Wednesday for one of our concurrent sessions. And so that topic, I love the title of your session. Thanks for the feedback, even when it may not be welcome.
Yes.
Yes. So again, what is it that makes you excited about that aspect of that conversation? And then what would be some takeaways for attendees?
Yeah. So we really think of feedback as our relationship with the world and the world's relationship with us. So sure, occasionally it's formal, right? It's evaluations and assessments that we give our kids as well as get ourselves. But more often feedback is informal and sometimes quite indirect or even unspoken. It's all those signals that exist all around us about the way that we're impacting other people. And part of the question is, are we paying attention? And so part for me, part of what's really rewarding about talking about and grappling with how we each receive feedback, even when it's off base and unfair and unsolicited, is that that's at the heart of our relationships with other people and our ability to work well together and collaborate well together and continue to learn together over time. So if we can get good, particularly as leaders, at receiving feedback, that's the fastest way to change a feedback culture. And then we can have richer feedback conversations in all directions.
Well, that's one of the things that has excited me the most about you. In my role, I have an opportunity to do a lot of reading and supporting our colleagues around challenging conversations and showing up our best. And when I came across your work, it just was such an epiphany for me, because I hadn't really given a lot of thought to the role of the receiver and how I choose to receive feedback and that whole awareness piece. And it was such a different and unique way of looking at that whole feedback conversation loop. And so once I looked at that, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so insightful. And then automatically you become more effective at giving feedback because you have greater awareness. So
it took us a little too long to catch on to that too, by the way. We spent like 10 or 15 years teaching people how to give feedback, which is useful, valuable, don't get me wrong. It's just like it wasn't totally working and we couldn't figure out why. So yeah, it's been a real eye-opening journey for us too, actually.
Well, and I just think it makes you so unique, and I feel so spoiled that we get to have you here for 2 full days.
I'm delighted to be there. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm from Iowa. I was born in Des Moines. And my mom grew up in Britt up near Clear Lake. So for me, it's like coming home. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was going to have to mention that. So you already have at least 8 years worth of familiarity with Des Moines and Iowa itself. So lots of connections, and we're super excited to have you back and can't wait. And I know it's going to be a really rewarding experience, both the pre-conference event and your concurrent session. So again, thank you so much for joining us in a super event this fall, late summer.
You bet. I can't wait. I'll see everybody in Iowa in July.
Sounds good. Thank you.